back to the Attitude Effort Results podcast presented by Teamwork Online. I'm your host, Tanner Natzke. For everybody just tuning in for the first time, we're now on video via Spotify as well. Shout out to my fiance for making me know that that's a thing. I didn't understand that at all, but now we're on video via Spotify, so you don't even have to go to YouTube. If you want to go to YouTube, you can. We're there as well. Again, I'm your host, Tanner Natzke. Teamwork Online is going to really love this episode today. Maybe not next week's episode, but this one for sure. And I'm happy we're able to partner with Teamwork because timing is incredible. And the timing of the partnership and the timing of what we're talking about now really gives you, the listener, tools to move forward. It's going to be mutually beneficial for both of us for a very long time. And because we have the same goals to help you move forward, not only in the sports industry, but in all industries. And so it's incredible that we have the opportunity to work with good people. And we're really excited to dive in with you guys. The reason for today's episode is to stop all of the crappy resumes from flying into corporations and organizations. Listen, you're wasting my time, you're wasting your time, and you're wasting the time of managers. And truthfully, I'm going to attack some people today. Truthfully, you're just embarrassing yourself. You just are. Some of the resumes that come through are atrocious. And in thinking about this episode and doing a little bit of research and pondering what that might be, why resumes are coming in looking how they are, honestly, it might just be the lack of education on how to build one. And so that's what we're talking about today, because we don't want you to embarrass yourself. And the way I just set up the episode probably really makes you want to listen to the rest of it, doesn't it? Well, I'm coming for people today because I had professors that tore me apart. Hunter had professors that tore his resume apart. And it helped us get to the positions where we are today. And thank the good Lord above that those professors were able to give us knowledge, were able to mold our resumes so that when we went out to professions to interview for jobs, we had a good foundation. And I'm not sure if you guys can tell, I'm not really about the foo-foo, I want a participation trophy BS. If you are, please do yourself a favor and log off right now because it's not for you. Because right now we're going to get people better, right? Now that we have everybody here, because everybody who wants participation trophies is not listening anymore, let's learn, let's grow, let's be challenged, okay? Let's be elite. Today we're talking about resumes. What are resumes? Why are they important? How do we build one? And how do we tailor experiences to the job that you're applying for? Right? That's going to be my favorite part of the episode. And I might jump through this camera while doing that portion of the episode. So if you're watching, I hope I don't get too close. My face isn't too close to the camera at that point. What are resumes, right? I'm going to read basic definition of what a resume is, and then we're going to build from there. If you're listening to this and actively taking notes, you're going to have a leg up on a lot of individuals because it's actually not that difficult to create a resume that is impactful, that has actionable words that actually get a point across, that do something, right? Instead of just a bunch of mumbo jumbo words on a piece of paper. A resume that is built correctly provides an opportunity for employers to understand the real you, provides an opportunity for employers to see you in a different light before talking to you one-on-one, right? So if you can, take notes today, because these are items that we're going through that are very impactful. And truthfully, there's probably a lot of people out there, and I've talked to them, I've submitted a ton of resumes. I've never gotten a call back. I mean, you haven't gotten a call back. There's probably a reason, right? Maybe we should change something up. So if you submitted resumes before, gotten a call back, gotten jobs, this, that, and the other, and you're a leg above everybody else, cool, awesome, I love it. I'm here to help people who maybe haven't had that. And if you submitted a ton and haven't gotten any back, at least we'll listen to the rest of the episode and see if you can find one or two things, right? All right, first things first, 1 to 2 pages in length. Jesus Christ, please do not create a book. Please do not create a book. Nobody wants you to write a paragraph. Resumes are 1 to 2 pages, and ideally they're just one. A front side, right? In 10 or 11 point font. Yeah, we're going to get granular today. 10 or 11 point font. This is not an English paper that needs to be 4 pages long, and you got to blow up the font size and pull the margins in. I actually had to pull the margins out to create more space, more white space to put impactful and actionable items on. 95% of resumes should really, again, 1 page. That's really, put action items on there that you need. 1 page, you're good. And I know what some of you are thinking, like, oh, if it's just 95%, I'm the 5%. I'll just be the 5%. No, 1 page, please. That's it. We don't need to hear about your 3rd grade spelling bee championship when applying to become a marketing specialist for the Indiana Pacers. Don't care, actually. Nobody cares. I don't know, maybe mom and dad, like, if you're a 22-year-old applying for a full-time job, we really just don't care. Sorry, I told you we're no participation trophies. And that might have been a little harsh, but I think you understand where I'm going. A resume is an informational document. Informational document, not a paper. We're not in literature class. It's an informational document that lists and summarizes your qualifications. You have skills in there. You have your past education. We're going to detail all of that. But it lists and summarizes your qualification. It is not paragraphs about what you're good at. We don't need 2 lines of solid. We don't need 2 lines of information that gives you an opportunity to have just one line, right? We need 1 line of solid, actionable information qualifying you for the job you're applying to. No one wants to read a paragraph. Half of it is fluff, and you don't even want to write that many words, do you? Like, nobody enjoys writing that many words, so just don't. Managers don't want you to type 30 words when you should really just be saying 5. Right? Here's an example. Managed a $60,000 budget. Managed a $60,000 budget. 5 words. Not, during my last job at XYZ, I was given the opportunity and the task of managing a budget that exceeded $60,000 because of my qualifications and background and expertise and history on the job. And the reason I was able to manage $60,000 is because I was good at my job and my manager trusted me. It says the same thing. Why use 30 words when you can just say 5? Oh, man. What is the Office line? Why say many word when few word do trick? Why say many word when few word do trick? Now, you probably want to expand on what the budget was for and the responsibility of the budget, right? But you guys get my point. Many see resumes as, this is talking from the employer side, many see resumes as marketing tools built for selling a candidate to the organization. So what you put on paper, you are selling to that organization. Whether you want to get into sales or not, that resume is you selling yourself as a candidate to an organization. And guess what? Thousands of other people are doing the exact same thing. All right, we can't even get through the definition of what a resume looks like without me wanting so passionately to jump through this computer and help y'all. This is good stuff. Like, go back to what was just said, right? Many resumes are marketing tools. God, I'm freaking out over here. Many are marketing tools built for selling a candidate to organizations. A tool, right? It is a tool, not a piece of paper for bragging on your accomplishments. These are active tools and experiences that can be used to qualify your past experiences and provide extensive backing on why the organization should hire you. Right? Extensive backing on why the organization should hire you. All right. That's what a resume is. What's the purpose of a resume? Why are resumes important? Why not just sit across from somebody and tell people about your experiences? Why not just start with the interview process? Well, we're going to dive very deep into it next episode. And I am actually going to jump through the screen next episode next week. But why do we not just start the interview process? Because in sports specifically, because that's where I am in and that is what I can talk on very confidently, there are thousands of people that apply every single time a job opens. It is unnecessary and very inefficient for individuals to sit down with 1,000 people and talk to them. And truthfully, there's so many uneducated and people who are not ready for the job. We don't want to talk to them. We don't want to talk to 1,000 people. So what does a resume do? Why are resumes important? It's to introduce your qualifications and skills to employers. It's to introduce, not to explain everything. It's to introduce. When you're creating a resume, under each job description or volunteer activity or whatever you're putting on your resume, right? When you go to describe that job, you want to introduce your qualifications, right? We'll go back to the managing a $60,000 budget. If you're going into a job that needs Excel, if you're going into a finance job, you might introduce your qualification like this: created Excel sheets for managing a $60,000 budget. That's it, right? You're introducing your qualifications. It's an informational document that tells your career story, outlining details, and make it very easily read, right? Outline all the details and make sure that I can read that thing in a minute. Tell your career story, right? Employers want to see what you've done. They want to know where you value your time, what skills you've acquired, what people you've worked with, what organizations you are now a part of, right? Are there 5 or 6 organizations on your resume that maybe they're direct competitors? Are there 5 or 6 organizations that don't have anything to do with the job you're applying for? Or are the organizations right in line with their efforts? Maybe they know somebody at that organization, right? Maybe your direct manager that you're hiring, let's say you're at Buffalo Wild Wings and you're hiring for a Wendy's. Maybe they know somebody who works at that Buffalo Wild Wings. Guess what? Now, all of this information that's on the paper is going to become even more important because they're going to go ask that person that they know at Buffalo Wild Wings for a referral. They're going to go ask for that person's idea of you and who you are, right? So if your resume matches what you are and who you are, now you're building a solid case, right? A very key factor is this should be easily read, right? The format should be consistent throughout the resume. Everyone writing papers in college, right? Consistent format. You want someone to look at your resume and skim it in 35 seconds. Give me, all right, education, name, 3 experiences in work, 3 volunteer, 3 awards. Boom, I got it. I know a very rough estimate and introduction about this person, right? You want the employer to be able to download all of your information very quickly. Don't have 8 different sections with 7 different colors and different nice and pretty fonts. Don't care. Make sure your pretty fonts are for the bachelorette party that you're going to and for the birthday cards that you're writing, not your resume, right? Think of it this way, your resume should be a compilation of details that are a perfect harmony between concise and precise. Like to imagine, this is coming directly from Hunter, so hopefully I'm saying it like he would. Like to imagine a nice black and white suit. Sharp, clean, to the point, not flashy at all. Maybe a full white suit would be flashy. Is that a bad analogy? Black suit, white shirt. Clean, sharp, to the point, not flashy. Right? They showcase your past to help you open a new door to your future. Pause and rewind that. They showcase your past to help open a new door for your future. A resume, where my video game players at? I'm not one of them, but I know you guys are listening out there. Where you guys at? A resume is your version of an NBA 2K player, right? It gives you highlights of who you are, where you're from, what makes you unique. It's a simplified form of all of your attributes. That's what this is about when we're building, right? This one might sound a little cheesy, but building a resume is a great way to learn business formatting because it'll carry over into the workplace. And if you have a crisp resume, if you're able to detail things precisely, nice and clean, right? They know that you can now submit business documents in a precise and clean way and move them up, right? Helps you learn how to draft proper and efficient business presentations, business documents. They know that if they hire you, you're going to be ready to rock, right? We're 2 points in and we are just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. All right, how do we build one? God, if you guys don't share this thing with people trying to get into the industry right now, like, oof. I'll be sharing this thing with people trying to get in the industry. I know people that are like, you know what, I should probably share this one. There's people that have submitted in I can't say that. I'll say it. There's people that have submitted resumes to me that I might share this episode with. All right, let's dive back in. How to build one, right? Let's go. Let's do this thing. Let's help people get better at creating resumes, actionable steps. If you're taking notes, if you have an opportunity to take notes, now's the time. Go grab a piece of pen, a paper, pause this thing. I'll be here forever. And a disclaimer, everything that we've talked about before this point right now has been universal, right? All of that we've talked about previously today is universal. What we're talking about right now on actionable steps that you want in your resume, I'm bringing this about from the perspective of the sports industry. It might apply to other industries, but for the sports industry specifically, I have seen many resumes, and I've been told that mine was sharp throughout my career that has led to where I'm at now. So from the expertise that I've seen, that I've heard from, and then others have told me, that's what I'm speaking on right now. And we did some research while doing this. Hunter and I broke everything down. Like, I also understand that I'm not the best at everything I do. And I don't ever want to be. I want to be in rooms with people way smarter than me. So these are suggestions based off of what I've experienced. You can take them however you'd like. A resume should be 100% professional. Key details to ensure that are on your resume and that are easily viewable are a couple things. One, legal name, phone number, email, address. Those should be on there to start, right? If an employer wants to hire you, these are essential to have handy for them. Imagine going to an interview, putting your resume on the desk, or submitting your resume and them not being able to contact you. And great, I got their name. You think give me a sports team. You think the Texas Rangers are coming over here about to DM you on social media after looking you up because they loved your resume? No. Throw it away. See you later. Lost your chance. Give me a phone number. Give me an email. Give me an address. Right? The employer wants to hire you. They're going to need to know how to contact you. It's crazy, but some people skip it. Put it on there. Right? Also put your education on there. Education's important. They want to know your educational background. For individuals that are listening that might be college athletes, if you went to 4 different schools because the transfer portal is real and live, put 4 different educations on there. Employers want to know where you've gone to school. Again, there might be a professor at a certain organization that they really trust. because hiring managers in the sports industry have really, really good relationship with professors. This is something I'm learning right now. If you want to be a manager in the sports industry, you have to form good relationships with professors, because where 98% of your talent coming from is colleges. Also, has nothing to do with the resume, but because of that, if you don't have a good relationship with your professors, make one right now, because everyone in the sports industry is trying to connect with everybody in the educational system, because that's where their talent's coming from, right? That logically makes sense. GPA. Should we put our GPA on there? I'm going to let you guys form a thought in your head before I give my opinion. Should you put your GPA on your resume? The easy answer is yes, right? And if you have a good GPA, I believe you should put it on there. Put it on there. Show your employer that you care about the schoolwork. Show your employer that you care and you are dedicated to the tasks in front of you. However, if your GPA is not good, leave it off. Again, this is a piece of paper summarizing your experiences. If you have a terrible GPA, don't shoot yourself in the foot before even having an opportunity, right? If you have a 1.5 or a 2 GPA, don't put it on there, because you're shooting yourself in the foot right off the bat. At least give yourself a chance, right? At least give yourself a chance, because this is a summary. This is not, we don't need 7 different things and that's how every single resume should go. No, you should summarize your experiences and your past experiences to open the door for your future experiences, right? Y'all want to know something that no one likes talking about and I'll probably get in trouble for saying? The sports industry really doesn't care what your GPA is. Sorry, I had to say it. Really don't care. Can you articulate at a high level? Can you learn the product and the inventory? Can you create relationships? And can you close business at a high level? That will win you a job before a 4.0 GPA does. Promise you that. I remember a story, actually. I was talking with a manager of a sports team. And I remember a story. He's like, yeah, we actually were just hiring for a premium position. There was a guy that had his doctorate degree, no sports experience, but a doctorate degree. And a guy who had worked in 3 minor league sports teams during his college career and has worked his way up in the sports industry. The guy with the doctorate degree looking to get into sports, obviously a genius. What did doctors go to school for 7 years, something like that? Oh, wait, no, that's from the movie Tommy Boy. Doctors go to school for a long time. He's a genius. And this kid who worked his way up, probably never even put his GPA on his resume, 3 minor league teams, worked his way up in the sports industry. Who'd they go with? The guy with the experience. Why? Knows how to create relationships, know how to build memories, know how to passionately communicate with businesses and fans, and then close business at a high level. All right, I'm not diving into GPA anymore because I don't want hate mail. And I also respect my professors, and they probably have the opposite opinion than what I just had. In the same light, if you don't have a ton of volunteer experience, just stack your resume with work experience, right? We're going to dive into what that looks like right now. But before we dive into it, if volunteer experience, I think, is important to have on a resume. But if you don't have a ton of it, or if you haven't done it in over a decade, stack your resume with work experience. Because again, this is just a summary. So what else should we have in a resume? You should have past work experience in your resume. I think that's probably very basic. I think everybody that has ever submitted a resume has work experience on it, and that's the bulk, right? You talk about creating a paper, you have your intro, your bulk, and then your closing. Like, this is the bulk right here. If you have multiple sports internships, again, you're specifically submitting a resume or interviewing for a for the sports industry, If you have past sports internships or jobs, we'll say like 3+, make your own section for sports internships and experiences. If not, you can group them together. That's fine. But one thing I learned in this last position, I've never done it before this last one, is if there's 3+ sports specific and you're interviewing for another sports specific, group them together. I would assume that's similar in any job, right? If you have 3 dentistry internships or clinicals, group them together, right? If you are in a different industry and have coaching jobs, you have 3 coaching jobs in the past, you're interviewing for a coaching job, group them together, because what's most important, what experience are they looking for the most? It's those. So just make it accessible and put it at the top. Start with your current job and list jobs out from there, right? So an example, like current job, the last job you had, the one before that, then so on and so forth, right? Your most recent experience is going to be your most important. And y'all are smart, you get that, right? What you don't want to do is, as you're listing jobs out, you put your 3rd grade lawn mowing job on there because nobody really cares what you did in 3rd grade if you're 19 and looking for an internship. They want to see skills and past experiences that give you credibility for the job that they're hiring you for, right? So if you're 22 applying for a social media manager job, they don't care that you mowed the lawn for your neighbor for $10 an hour when you were in 3rd grade. They just don't. Another section that you want on your resume is volunteer positions or clubs that you're interested in. Everyone likes a well-rounded person. Everybody wants to know what you were involved in different areas of your life. What did you get involved in? One of my very first episodes was titled Get Involved Now. Why? Because you want it on your resume and you want to be able to articulate your experiences to your employers. Employers love seeing that you're a go-getter, that you dive into other projects, that you have other segments of your life rather than just this one area, that you can do other jobs. They like knowing that your experience are very diversified. Again, if you're applying for a manager, a premium, whatever, don't have that you were a church usher in grade school. That's great. That actually was me. I actually had that on my resume applying for a premium position right before I submitted it to the organization. And somebody very smart said, dude, when you were 10 years old, they don't really care. Plus, you're taking up all this white space that could be used for actionable steps and actionable experiences that are impactful, right? What they do care about is if you were in the ice cream making club and you were the vice president. That is more impactful than if you were ushering a church. And again, you guys know me. I'm a very faith-driven man. I think it provides opportunity for great conversation. But a VP of the ice cream making club shows ownership, shows leadership, and it probably means that you had to do more tasks than just a regular member. So put that on there. Another good section is awards. If you have any awards, list them. This is good. You can list them. This is not a bragging section. This is a section summarizing your experiences. If you have any awards, list them. You're a second team all-conference volleyball player, put it on there. You a student council member, put it on there. Honor student, put it on there. Right? What were you involved in and what awards did you win? People want to know that. Specifically in the sports industry, we love athletes. Love them. Why? Because that's the industry we work in. If you've been doing finance jobs your whole life and you've been the church secretary, you've managed a budget for the pizza shop down the road and you're going to interview for a finance job, they want to know that. They want to know that you were the VP of the business club. They want to know that you were the VP of finance for, a club that you started. And they don't need to know that there was only 2 people. Like, they don't need to know that, right? Treat these kind of like goals. And we went through last episode, we talked about SMART goals. When you're putting items on your resume, treat these similar to the SMART goals. You want to be specific and time sensitive, right? Instead of putting all conference catcher, put second team, Packer land, name of the conference, all-conference catcher during the 23-24 baseball season. Be specific. Instead of honor student, put high honor student all 4 years of high school. Here's a big one. Don't list 4 different lines for each year of high school if you're an honor student 4 years in high school. Again, it's a summary, not a book. Now, how do we write each line? Right? How do we write each line? First line, you want the position first. You want, let's take a server at a restaurant. You want server first. Then it's a comma. Then it's the company you worked for. Server, I'll go my own experience. Server, comma, Iowa Chop House, comma, location, Iowa City, Iowa. And then we're going to tab to the end of the page and put a time frame. 18 to 2020. But you want to be specific. So it's September 2018 to January 2020, right? Position, comma, company in the middle, comma, location. Underneath that, you want a one-line description. Most important part is you want to start with an action word. You managed the $60,000 budget. You serviced high-level clients. You presented top secret information. Doesn't matter what the position was, it needs to start with an action word. And if it doesn't start with an action word and you can't come up with an action word for this experience that you had, probably not worth being on there, right? Change. Another thing, stay up to date on your resume, right? If a college that you went to or an experience is in the past, change your verbs, your action verbs and your descriptions to the past tense. You presented top secret information. You grew social media following by 20%, right? Those lines are what are going to spark a manager, an employer, to really be like, this guy or girl, she's got it. He's got it. Action verbs, right? All right, one more point. Y'all with us? Here we go. This is my favorite part. I might jump to the camera during this point. How can we tailor our experiences to the job you're applying for? A resume is a first impression of your career, a first impression of yourself on a piece of paper. It is a piece of paper. Also, before I jump into it, if you're going to a high-level job, go to Staples or something and get like an actual nice piece of paper. That's just a small tip that I was given, and it just came to my head. It wasn't on my notes, but it just came to my head. Get a nice stock piece of paper. It's going to cost you 65 cents. It's worth it. All right. Now let's jump back in. Allow the resume to supplement what you describe and implement during your interview, right? By tailoring your resume with experiences that are specific to the role that you're hiring for, you're interviewing for, it shows that you have prepared and worked year over year to put yourself in a position to intern or work in this specific industry. And the best part about it is you might not have. You might have been getting involved in anything you possibly can for 2 or 3 years, not knowing what you wanted to do. And that's cool. That's great. I actually recommend it. But when you sit down and write your resume out, tailor your past experiences for your current job. I used to list out work experience, all work experience I ever had on my resume. Not an efficient use of white space. Right? If you're applying to be a cashier at McDonald's, probably don't need your experience as a greenskeeper on a golf course and grounds crew of your high school baseball field. Instead, list how you handled money during high school concession stands and during bake sales, right? Tailor your experience to what you're looking for now. Did you serve at a restaurant? Instead of saying, let's go this example specifically, looking to get into sales. If you served at a restaurant, instead of saying, hey, I served at a restaurant. Great. Awesome. Love it. Put on your resume that you curated, action word, curated premium experience for high-end clients. Does that not sound better? Did you play guitar at a small bar with your friends? Instead of putting, I play guitar for a small bar of friends. You created a memorable experience for clients. Did you volunteer as a coach with a local youth program and you're not going for a coaching position? You didn't just volunteer as a coach. You develop skill sets for young individuals, right? Does that not make sense? Does that not make you fired up that you can curate experiences, that you can articulate these experiences at a high level to these employers? Tailor your experiences to the job that you're applying for. If you're applying for a sales job and you had a social media position, again, you got involved. You early on got involved. Maybe it wasn't what you wanted, and maybe you were just getting all these experiences in, which is great. Those experiences probably led to one or two jobs that you're not interested in. But you have 7 different jobs over here that you've done, and only one of them applies to over here. Well, you got to put more than one job in your resume, right? So let's put all 7 of them, but frame them in a way that makes sense to the now employer that you're interviewing for. And a tricky part, and it's not manipulation, it's intelligence. You can have these same jobs, articulate them for a sales position. The same 7 jobs, you can now create a new resume and articulate them for a social media position. Articulate them for a marketing job. Because there's different nuances within each position. You're not lying and you're not manipulating. You're just articulating them in a professional way. So, you're applying for a sales job, okay? Put yourself in that head. Some people think sales is sleazy and slimy. That's what I thought in the beginning. It's not if you do it the right way. So just put it in your head that you're applying for a sales job. What if one of these experiences is a social media position? Instead of putting on your resume that you grew following by 12%, which in sales I just don't care about. I mean, cool. Don't care. Some of the highest level VPs in all of sports either don't have social media or have very little following. Don't care. If I'm hiring for a sales position, do I actually care what your following is? No. I don't even care that you grew it by 12%. Sounds good. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. I don't care. Use the same experience and phrase it in a way that says this: generated new business clients that led to an increase in sales by 4%. The reason that new sales were generated was because you grew following by 12%, but you can articulate that in a different way for this position. And don't be prideful. Don't be prideful. Find a way to elevate your descriptions. Of course, this is highlighted with action verbs. First and foremost, I've said it 100 times on this podcast already, but use a thesaurus. I literally type synonyms on Google, and then I look for all synonyms because overused words dry out, and new action words catches the eye of everybody reading it. Remember, we want to read this 1-page document. You're not the 5%, by the way. You're just 1 page. You want to read this in 35 seconds to a minute. And if you can articulate and use words that are not repetitive, it shows that you care. And don't be prideful. Go learn. If you start this now, you'll be able to build that creative muscle over time. It's a muscle. And our brain has neuroplasticity. It can change over time. I know that because I'm an idiot. And I can articulate things at a very high level now. So I promise you that it works. College kids, you're coming back to school right now. Seniors, it's go time. You got a job in 3 to 4 months. It's go time. There's no more hanging back. everything has to be crisp. Everything has to be precise because there are thousands of people gunning for your job. There are thousands of people in the same position as you looking to get hired by the same company. There are way too many people out there, that hate their jobs because they didn't do the steps that they needed. They got passed up on the job because they just submitted their resume. Wait for next week. They just submitted their resume to 1,000 other people, let it go, and the resume sucked. Build a strong resume and then listen to next week. Next week we're coming for more people. But it's go time for you seniors. I'm serious. Freshmen through juniors, high school kids, time for an internship, time to create experience, time to get involved. There's no more waiting back. If you guys are still listening to this thing, you're elite. You want to get better. I'm not coming at you saying I'm the brightest person out there. I'm coming at you saying these are the steps that we've taken and we've found success. We've been blessed to be in a position like this and see and hear from other people. I'm in a position now where I actually get to hire for positions. I get to see resumes. I get to see college kids submit resumes and they stink. They're just downright terrible. And it fires me up because it's not that hard, but it takes time. It takes effort. And I'm getting upset, so I'm going to stop because I'm getting upset over it. Because you guys right now that are listening and watching, you are the elite people and you are going to change what we have in this industry right now. All right, share this thing. I know you guys will, but share this thing. If you want more information on resumes, hit Teamwork Online. This is not a partnership that we are either making any money off of. This is strictly to help you guys. Yes, you heard that right. We partnered with a company that is the number one in hiring for sports entertainment, and we're making zero money. What a sales guy I am. If you want more information on resumes, hit Teamwork Online. If you're looking for a job or internship, ding, 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 hit Teamwork Online, the number one hiring platform in all sports entertainment. Why do you think we partnered with them specifically during this time with these episodes? I can feel some wheels starting to turn. You guys are catching on. You're kind of smart, right? Maybe that partnership was kind of smart at this time. Listen, we're just here to help you. Both of us have the same goals. We're here to give back. I appreciate y'all. Let's impact others, continue to grow together.